Good morning. Today we want to cover how to log into BPC 10, access the input templates for the forecast, and some basics on how to complete the forecast templates. BPC users can access BPC 10 through Citrix or through the Excel BPC 10 EPM add-in that will be installed in the computers. The main form of accessing BPC 10 is through the desktop. For those who cannot access BPC 10 on their desktop or laptop, can do so in Citrix. What we will cover first is how to access BPC 10 through Citrix. The first step is to go into the web browser and type in the address myoffice.cisco.com under the address name and hit enter afterwards. Depending on your previous use of Citrix and your security settings, you may receive a pop-up box that states whether you want to allow or not allow Citrix. If the pop-up box appears, hit the allow button to proceed forward. Once you reach the Citrix login screen, enter your Cisco username and password and hit the logon box. Please note that if you have never used Citrix before, you might be prompted to download the program onto your computer. If you are required to download the program, a pop-up box will appear indicating that you have read and agreed to the terms of the Citrix licensing agreement. Check that box and hit the download option. If you already have Citrix installed on your machine, you may be prompted to hit the option on the right that states already installed under other options on the far right side of the computer. Once you're in Citrix, you will have some icons. The icon that we will use for BPC 10 is called BPC 10 EPM-production. Double click that icon to open up your Excel. Depending on your browser, you may receive another pop-up notification indicating that you will either allow or not allow Citrix. If that pop-up box appears, hit allow. A Windows logon pop-up screen will appear. Hit OK on that option. Once you hit the login box under the OK button, the system will load the application and the Citrix receiver box will show an option that you can choose to block the access or permit use. Hit the permit use button to allow Excel to pop up into Citrix. When Excel pops up, everyone should have the option of seeing EPM as a tab in your toolbar. To log into BPC, go to EPM and the log on option. A logon box will appear asking you to select a connection. Click the ellipsis on the right to view the list of connections. The list of connections should show depending on your access in BPC. For the forecasting application, we want to choose the forecasting-Cisco Finance connection and hit OK. If you do not see any connections in your drop-down list of connections, please email BPC support at bpcsupport@corp.cisco.com and request that they update your access for the list of connections. The logon box will appear, prompting you to enter your current username and password. If your current password is not accepted, please use the welcome1 password as your temporary password and then reset your password going forward. If the temporary password of welcome1 is used, please note that the welcome1 password requires a capital W and a 1 number at the end. To open the input form, select Open at the top and open Server Input Form folder. A pop-up box will show the list of applications and templates available. Everyone should see 2 input templates currently, an action plan input template and a forecast input package template. The first we will look at is the forecast input package template that users will use to input your forecast data. Once the input template is refreshed, the following screen on your input will appear. The Selections tab is the first tab that we will use. Under the Profit Center option, double-click the box to select your opco. Once you double-click the box, the list of profit centers will appear. The suggested option is to go under this option and hit ID and description and do a search for your opco. Once your opco is located, hit OK for it to populate into the box. The second step is to refresh the report, to refresh all the historical data. Once the template is refreshed, you can go to the respective tabs to input your data. Hyperlinks are provided here to allow you to navigate through the different tabs simply. The tab that we will go to input the numbers is the Forecast Input tab. The Forecast Input tab is similar to the Forecast Input tab in BPC 7.5. The only change is the first column, which is for your current month's reforecast, which will be locked for any inputs. The only input cells that are available are the brown or green input cells to the right of that for any future months. Once your inputs are completed in the input template, hit the Send button above to submit your data. Once you hit Send, another pop-up will appear, and the pop-up is titled EPM-Submit Data. Click the Yes button to submit your data to the BPC 10 application. The pop-up box will indicate the number of records that will be sent and whether or not you want to continue with the submission. Afterwards, another pop-up titled Save Results will appear, indicating the status of the data that you submitted. The key on that box is to look for the status that says Succeed. If the box says Status Succeed, hit OK to continue. The next Templates tab that is required to be completed is the Variance Explanations sheet. The variance explanation sheet is to the right of the forecast input template. Similar to what has been completed in the BPC 7.5 application, any explanations are needed. in cases where the variance is plus or minus 3% or plus or minus 1%. Complete this tab as usual and hit send once all of your explanations are completed. Once you hit the send button, the EPM-submit data box will pop up indicating the number of comments that will be sent. Hit yes to continue. Another pop-up box will appear titled Save Results. The status of the Save Results box should indicate that it's success or succeed. If the succeed status is in that input box, pop-up box, hit OK to continue to the next screen. Once the action input templates are completed, you can close the forecast input template and open the action plan template if needed to update any action plans. To open the action plan input template, select Open, Open Server Input Form Folder, and Action Plan Input template. The action plan input template will refresh and populate with any existing data. The action plan input template is comprised of two tabs: the action plan active tab and action plan pipeline tab. The action plan input templates have not changed from the previous forecasts. The cells in green are the cells to put the explanations or data concerning your action plans. The cells in gray are the amounts respectively for each of the action plans. If no dollar amounts are required in each of the gray cells, please put a numerical number in the cells as needed so that it is captured in the reports. If necessary, please put .0001 in each of the cells so that the action plan items are picked up in the reports. The same applies to the action plan pipeline tab. The green cells are for each of your action plans, and the gray cells are for your dollar amounts for each respective action plan. Once your inputs are completed in the action plan templates, to save the data, hit Submit to send the respective inputs. Once your forecast templates are complete for both the forecast input template and action plan template, we do ask that everyone update the status to completed. To update the work status, go under EPM, Save Data, and change work status. To change the work status, please ensure that you have the correct OPCO in the Profit Center box. To update the time, click on the three dots here to get to the options for the respective periods. For the FY15 forecast cycle, we will always use the year-end-FY15 option. For the version that needs to be updated as well, click on the three dots to open your options. Do a search under F_WV to find the correct version. For version, the F_WV or forecast working version is the member that we want to select. Under week, it would always be no week. And under New Status, change to Complete, and hit Apply to confirm. Now your work status is complete, and your forecast cycle input items are completed. As always, if there are any questions with how to log into BPC or how to navigate through the templates in BPC 10, please don't hesitate to contact the BPC team on any questions related to entering data into the input template. If there are any technical issues with BPC 10 for installing BPC 10 or resetting a password, please contact the BPC support team at bpcsupport@corporate.cisco.com. Thank you for your help in the forecasting process, and thanks for taking the time for reviewing the training on BPC 10.